Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have to be honest, I'm not really feeling myself. I have a little bit of a cold going on, so my voice may be a little bit off and my nose as well. So apologies for that. But you know what? I figured if I'm already slightly grumpy because of my cold, I might as well do a little bit of a rant here on the internet. Why not, right? So usually on my channel I concentrate and focus on the positive things, on the good things, on the things that I love. But of course there are also many items that I do not appreciate, that I do not like. Today's video is going to be of a mixture of specific items that I'm not getting and that I am not buying for sure. And also some of these phenomena, some trends within the fashion and influencer industry that, oh my god, are just so annoying. Two things that also might be of interest to you. First of all, I'm in the process of planning my very first Q&A video. So if you have any questions that you always wanted me to answer, leave them in the comments down below. I will collect all of these and then I think in like 2 weeks or something I will do a proper Q&A video. Also, I am preparing a giveaway that also will take place in the same video, in my Q&A video. Just to, you know, say thanks to all of you. I reached 1,000 subscribers today, which is absolutely mind-blowing, even though I know that this is like nothing compared to others. However, I digress, sorry. I want to keep my intros short. Anyway, the giveaway will be Dior, little spoiler here. So make sure to subscribe and to hit that notification bell so that when the day comes and I post my giveaway, you can make sure to, you know, take part in it. So that's that. Let's dive into my little rant for today. So let's start with the elephant in the room, and that is the recent Chanel price increase. This is just something that to me at this point is basically ridiculous. And I already talked about many reasons, you know, why a Chanel bag might not be the best purchase idea for you or for us in one of my videos. I will link it down below, so I don't want to be too redundant at this point. However, many people in the comments down below said that, you know, price increases happen due to inflation or due to higher production costs, like the source materials becoming more expensive. And yes, these things happen. However, price increases, like Chanel does them, are beyond any of these factors. I will Google and insert like a little graphical, you know, representation of the price increases of Chanel during the past years, or like the last 20 years or something in here. If you look at this, this is definitely beyond any inflation process, and it is also beyond any production costs, because the demand for those bags has grown immensely in the past years. To keep up with the production and to keep up with that demand, they have to produce more. And the more you produce, the more you have to, you know, change your production processes to be more mass production appropriate. And that typically means that you have to be more efficient and cheaper in many, many ways. So if you, for example, now need the double amount of leather or hardware that you used to, you know, need like 10 or 5 or 2 years ago, that will actually make each bag cheaper in its production. Because the more source material you buy in bulk, the cheaper each and every item will get per production. I hope that makes any sense to you. So yeah, these arguments at the end of the day just don't hold up. And at the end of the day, we can just all agree to disagree or to face that Chanel is basically making a joke out of us. I also have quite a couple of, you know, friends like on Instagram or in my personal life that honestly couldn't care less about the price increases, and that is totally fine. I don't bash anyone who indulges in their Chanel bags. I totally respect and accept that. However, for me personally, I have to admit that, you know, I just morally can't take that anymore and I can't justify it anymore. So I hereby commit that I will not buy a brand new classic Chanel bag in one of the timeless colors from the boutique anymore. You know, if there are any seasonal bags, seasonal color specifications that, you know, only occur once a season and that will most likely never come back, that is a different thing. I get that. However, I really just don't see any good reason to purchase a brand new Chanel bag in, you know, black caviar leather or something at this point anymore. So I will totally focus more on the pre-loved market at this point, even though it is hard to find a good priced or like reasonably priced secondhand Chanel bag on the pre-loved market as well. I'm not gonna lie about that. I know that is a tricky process as well. However, I think it's still worth it. You know, it's not as easy as going into a boutique and just like randomly picking a bag and just getting it right away. Of course, the process of shopping something pre-loved, finding it, researching it is more complicated, but I think it's still worth it and you get a higher value for less money. So changing it up and talking more about products, I have a couple of products that I personally am boycotting and that I am not buying and that I don't understand actually, and that for once is the Louis Vuitton multi-pochette. So yeah, I know that this is one of those bags that gets like hyped up on Instagram, and I mean, I've been a victim to that with my Bottega Veneta pouch and my saddlebag as well. I'm not perfect, I know that. However, my issue with this bag is not the fact so much that it is hyped like on Instagram and on influencers everywhere, but the fact that I just don't get that design. I think that they just wanted to jump on the bandwagon of like, you know, the sporty guitar strappy straps, like, you know, Off-White already introduced like 4 years ago or something. That's like, I don't know, like an old thing to me. And also, I just don't get like the whole design approach of those pochettes. It just seems so random to me. I just don't understand the idea behind it. I don't think that this bag is particularly flattering. I think that each and every part and pieces of the bag are cute. When you put it together, it's just like something that I made myself with a couple of, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't look sophisticated, it doesn't look luxurious to me. It's obviously something that is just made for the gram. Yeah, I just don't get it. And you know, Louis Vuitton does so many beautiful handbags. I actually like quite a couple of them, but this is not one of them, definitely not. Another item that I don't get the point of is Chanel again, and this is the fluffy fall winter 19 jumper. I don't like any of the colorways. I don't like the fluffiness. It looks like a towel that you made into a sweater. If these jumpers would not have a CC logo on them and they would not be by Chanel, no one will give a crap. You know, again, Chanel is a brand that is so iconic, that has so many beautiful items in their collections, and yet everyone and their mother is, you know, on the hunt for these random sweaters. So yeah, these are just not for me. I don't get that. I think that there are many, many more beautiful items that you can buy for that money. And that brings me to the next point, which is just luxury items in general that are, or that seem to be made only for Instagram. So this is a phenomenon that is not new. There actually was like a huge article in Business of Fashion years ago about Gucci doing that. And that is the fact that more and more luxury brands create items that look great on a photograph or like in an editorial way. However, they don't look great in real life. And that is, of course, something that social media brought us, that, you know, Instagram gave us. But when you put them on, you know, in real life, in a boutique, in a store, you just look ridiculous. And I'm talking about items like the super nano mini Jacquemus, I think they are called Chiquita bags. I would even go that far and say that the latest Bottega Veneta combat boots are the same. Like, even though I love Bottega Veneta in many ways, but these are very, very unflattering shoes. They just look amazing and edgy and cool if you photograph them in a flattering, amazing perspective. The same goes for many oversized blazers that, again, look super cool and give you a beautiful and very dramatic silhouette and impression on your pictures. However, when you dress them on your own, like in the real world, they just look weird, you know, and they just don't function. Things like that honestly happened to me as well when I tried things on that I saw on the gram and that I thought would be amazing, but they weren't. So this is something that really frustrates me because, you know, I'm someone who works in fashion, who like gets all that and who understands the industry. However, you know, most of the normal consumers and customers out there, especially like young people, they just get, you know, frustrated over it. They get confused by it and they spend their money on things that don't actually work in real life. And, you know, it's just so easy these days to get tangled up in you know, Instagram hypes and things like that and end up with items that don't serve you, which obviously they should. And my last point, so annoying. Those over-orchestrated fashion hauls. I mean, we all know that, right? You open your browser, you open YouTube, you wanna, you wanna watch your favorite YouTubers, and somehow, magically, they all do the same haul with the same brand or the same retailer. Like, honestly, you really expect me to believe that, yeah? You really expect me to believe that. Listen, I've been working in this industry for a couple of years. I know exactly how that works, and I know exactly that these hauls are not a coincidence and that it is not real. It is something that happens in the beauty industry or like in the beauty community here on YouTube for ages, and it is also happening in fashion more and more now these days. And don't misunderstand me, I don't have a problem with, sponsorships or sponsored content. I don't have a problem with influencers being paid for what they do whatsoever. I totally respect that profession. I think that this job is a beautiful job, but it is also a very stressful job. And influencers today are like fashion magazines, and it is a lot of work that requires creating even a video like this, to be honest. So I totally get that this is a profession, it's a job, it has to be paid. And that is fair. If you think of, the traditional media, if you would like open like a fashion magazine and you would see products that they recommend, of course they would favor products that come from their advertising client. Even in traditional media, there also always was a lot of sponsoring and stuff like that going on, but you didn't have that transparency, or that it wasn't that obvious as it is nowadays in social media, in the new media world. So, as much as I get the profession and I totally respect, being paid, affiliate links, all that kind of stuff is totally legitimate for me. However, can we please start to put a little bit more effort into how we do that, or when we do that, or like what we tell our subscribers? And also, maybe planning out those hauls, should not happen in waves that are so obviously, orchestrated, but in a little bit more organic, natural way. I also really don't appreciate the non-existent transparency that's going on there. Everyone wants to be authentic and everyone wants to be trusted, but in order to do that, you actually have to be honest and you actually have to tell people what's going on. And this is not what happens in these cases. And I know that this is very salty and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just how it is, and I don't appreciate it. And I think that influencers these days, I mean, I don't know if I'm an influencer, maybe I'm a micro-influencer at this point, I don't know, but influencers or the fashion industry these days, they really have to rethink their game, because this just doesn't have anything to do with authenticity, with trust, with, actual opinions about things. The whole realistic approach of what influencers used to be really just like gets thrown out of the window. Can we just start to value fashion again a little bit more, instead of just accumulating masses and masses and show more and more outfits? You see, I digress. I could go on and rumble on for ages. However, I'm going to stop here. This will be a mess for me to edit, I can already see that. So yeah, this was just a quick little salty video from me. If I refer to any people, even though I didn't mention any names, or if I refer to any products that you like and that you want to own, or that you do own and that you actually enjoy, that is absolutely fine. I do not judge anyone. This is just my personal opinion, and also, of course, just a little bit of extra saltiness that I wanted to throw in for a change in my otherwise always very well reflected, content. And that is it. Nothing #life-changing in here. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.